Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with ablogtoread.com. Please subscribe to A Blog to Read videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is the Porsche design P'6620 dashboard chronograph watch. This is a new design for 2011 and it's a pretty cool piece. Now, Porsche design has had a history starting in the late 70s or so with creating some very cool futuristic timepieces, and this sort of carries that on. Lately they've been focusing on some of their neat retro pieces, which sort of harken back to some of the 70s and 80s designs, but this is a very modern designed watch. And for me, the case is really the best part. Now, the 6620 is an evolution on sort of their basic chronograph, and it's a unique timepiece. This case is in titanium, and it's coated in black PVD, and Porsche designed is one of the best PVD applications that I know. What I mean by best is, first of all, it's a very fluid look. This is sort of a matte finish, kind of a matte, kind of sandblasted finish, and the tactile experience is fantastic. It feels smooth, it feels good, it's really nice. And the case itself has a very nice integrated look from the case to the bracelet. There are versions of this with a strap, but honestly, you got to go with the bracelet. If you don't get the bracelet, you're kind of cheating yourself because it's just not going to look as cool and seamless. Look at those cool pushers and crown. I love that. I love how that looks from the side. The crown is sort of large. It's got a good tactile experience. The pushers are, I don't know if you can see there, there's a little bit, there's like a texture in there, and pushing them is really nice. It's just, the shape of them is just nice to push for the finger. It's very ergonomic. And ergonomics is kind of a big deal for Porsche design. They want to make sure that watches are comfortable and very, very legible. Now this one, I couldn't decide when I was first experienced this watch some months ago about the hands, whether or not I like the hands. I felt like they were a little bit on the short side, and after wearing this watch for a while, I still think that they're short, but only marginally short. It doesn't really affect legibility. I just think they could be like a millimeter longer each. Nothing really that's that big of a deal. And part of this has to do with the fact that there's this, I forgot the exact name actually, but there's this sort of, the Sapphire Crystal sits around here, and there's a very, very thin bezel, but there's sort of an internal ring, which is kind of like the bezel, and it goes up like a little mountain and kind of plateaus. And you can see that in there. And it's kind of interesting, and then the dial itself is kind of like inside of a bowl. So you have this sort of ring right there with the hour indicators, this sloped curved part with minute and second indicators, and then the dial itself with the chronograph, subdials, the date. And other than that, it's a very clean dial. There's a lot of empty space here. Some people feel that there's too much empty space. I think it's okay. I don't really have a problem with it. I think it looks nice. And the area up here with the Porsche design logo is very stark. You know, it's just the Porsche design logo. It's very minimalist, and people who are minimalist lovers are going to like this. The chronograph subdials have polished rings around them. They look diamond polished, which is good. They did a good job of having those polished rings without making them look too rounded, which is what you will want to avoid. When you have a watch, you should look that the polished areas have very crisp edges to them. That's usually done with diamond polishing. Without that, you get this kind of stamped look, which is cheap. That's not the case here, and they did a very good job with the detailing on the dial as well. Over on the movement, there's a slightly modified Swiss Etta Valjo 7753, and the 7753 is the one that has this sort of tri-compax layout for the chronograph. Look at that cool rotor. It's meant to look like a Porsche wheel, like a BBS wheel kind of, and it's on ceramic ball bearings, so it's moving around there very nicely. The movement is very nicely finished. It has perlage, it has blued steel screws, that custom rotor. This is about as nice as you can get with the 7750 series. So on the wrist, really, really nice. It's a good looking watch. It's large. It's 44 millimeters wide, but it sometimes feels a little bit bigger. It's funny, 44 millimeters is funny like that. You can get a watch which is big and one that doesn't look that big. But overall, a very handsome look on the wrist. One thing you need to know, and it's not really a big deal, but when people use the 7753, sometimes they make the date adjustable via the crown, and sometimes they use an inset pusher, and this one has an inset pusher. So when you want to adjust the date, you need to get something like a pen or a paper clip to poke at it. I tend not to be the biggest fan of that because it gets a little bit annoying when you're somewhere and you want to change the date and you have to find something to push it in. There's different reasons why they do it. I don't even know why exactly, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's overall a really cool watch. Porsche design makes a nice thing. I've never known anyone that has a Porsche design watch which has been even remotely dissatisfied with it. Just overall, legibility is important to them, quality is important, and comfort's important. What more do you need in a wristwatch? Again, this is the Porsche design P'6620 dashboard chronograph. Retail price is about $5,800. It comes in various versions. Not all of them are black. You have just polished titanium. I think there's a steel version. Not sure if it's steel. I think there's a steel version. It even comes in gold, various strap colors, different dial colors as well. But you get the idea. You can see the full review on blogtree.com. Thanks.